Hey, welcome to Craft Central Designs. My name is Dwynn, and in this tutorial, I'm going to share with you all how I made this super cute wood flower bouquet. As you can see, it's an assortment of colorful scrapbook papers of various patterns, and I'm going to show you how I Mod Podged those scrapbook papers to wood cutouts. Also, you can see in this arrangement, there's some addition of fillers, some greenery, purple lavender. It's all inserted into this super cute little white pitcher adorned with a lovely bow. Okay, so let me show you the materials that I used. I had a wide assortment of scrapbook papers, obviously. You could pre-plan some of your flowers, meaning that, pull your scrapbook papers, have a general plan for what you're going to do so that you have a variety of colors, a variety of patterns, and textures. I used everything from hearts to gingham checks to swirls to floral patterns. This arrangement has so much visual interest because it has so much texture and patterns and color. Here's the wood cutouts that I used. I believe I got these at Hobby Lobby, but Dollar Store also carries something similar. And then I also got these flowers, which Dollar Store carried as well as Hobby Lobby. I like these because they actually had the place to put the greenery. The wood dowels are 12-inch wood dowels. I got those at Dollar Tree. And then I gathered as well an assortment of wood pieces, such as circles and half wood rounds. These were going to be used for the center of the flowers. So I wanted to change it up, use different sizes. I always gather a lot of materials together at the onset of a project because I like to have a lot to work with and to choose from. Of course, I have a jar of Google Eyes. You don't have to necessarily use the Google Eyes on your flowers. This particular arrangement was made for a little girl's room, and she happens to love purple, so you'll see me using a lot of purple in this arrangement. To paint your dowels, you just stick them in a piece of styrofoam, use a paintbrush, and just paint them quickly with a paintbrush. I believe I used an apple barrel colored called Limeade. Of course, we need Mod Podge. Who can live without Mod Podge? Oh my gosh. And the applicators, which you can get anywhere. Walmart, Dollar Store, Hobby Lobby. You'll need a pencil, a pair of scissors, and I also added a butterfly to this arrangement. So I thought it was kind of a nice addition to go with the flowers. This I got at Dollar Tree. Here's the picture that I got. Now, I got mine at Home Goods, but you could easily find something like this on sale at Hobby Lobby or at a thrift store. Inside, I put a piece of styrofoam that I cut down to fit inside of there. And then I chose a various assortment of ribbons, of which I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use until I actually started creating the bow. But again, I like to gather together a lot of different materials so that I have a lot to choose from once I get into my crafting mode. This particular ribbon was a definite that I was going to use because it had purple flowers. And here I have started some of the flowers, just kind of pre-planning what I was going to do. Even though for the most part, as I went along, I was basically creating as I went along. But this is just showing you that the possibilities of patterns and colors and how to plan that out your bouquet. And here's the butterfly, which is yellow and white polka dot. All right, so this is a really super easy process. And I'm showing you here how I used various wood pieces to create my centers, some big, some small. You could just so much possibilities. It's just endless possibilities what you could do with this arrangement as far as color, materials, variations. Here's the wood dowels that I painted. Now, some of these flowers I went ahead and did ahead, but I'm also going to show you how I did them. But as you can see, they have the centers that are placed, most of the scrap of paper is placed on the wood, the little wood rounds. I like having the center on the wood rounds because it creates a little bit of depth and dimension. Here's the Google eyes. I think that was so cute. On the butterfly, I put little wires for the, I guess you call it the antennas. Super cute. See, so I went for lots of color, lots of variety in pattern. All right, so for the flowers, I'm going to show you how I decoupaged or Mod Podged the scrapbook papers onto the flowers. I gathered together my papers ahead of time with a pretty good idea what I was going to do. That's a cute swirl pattern, that one I just showed you. Now, some of these flowers actually have the leaves and the stem. So it was quite simple. All I did was take a pencil, traced around the green, or what would be the green part of the flower, the stem and the leaves. Now, for each thing that you trace out, you're going to remember you're going to have a front and a back. Now, this arrangement definitely has a front, but I didn't want the backs to just be bare, so I also covered the backs of the flowers, just in case, as you viewed them from the side, you would still see the color on the back of the arrangement. Same thing for the flower, the actual flower itself. Just simply choose your scrapbook papers and trace around. Again, everything you trace, you're going to trace 2 of them for the front and the back. You're also going to choose the material or the scrapbook paper that you want for the centers of the flowers. And again, you want to make that as different as possible because mixing the patterns is really gives it visual interest and dimension and color. So here I am tracing around one of the wood rounds. And again, remember you have to trace out 2 for the front and the back. Here's one of the smaller flowers. This was a really cute swirl pattern scrapbook paper. Again, mix it up. That's what gives it such a great look, to have the varied patterns. And this was a polka dot. Again, one of the smaller flowers. Cut out 2. Don't forget, front and back of the flower. All right, now we have some Mod Podge. I always put Mod Podge on a paper plate. Use a little applicator. First thing I put on is the green part, or the stem and the leaves of the flower. This happened to be a little tiny polka dot, which was really cute. I always use saran wrap to smooth out my scrapbook paper when I use decoupage, or when I use Mod Podge, I'm sorry. And for the flower, you want to have your Mod Podge out to the tips. Place your scrapbook paper on there. It's very easy to do. Now we're doing the back. Now sometimes you'll be able to see a little bit of paper that might be the overhang, if you will. When you traced it out, it seems like it should have been perfect once you put it on, but there always seems to be a little bit of overhang, if you will. I don't know how else to say it. And I showed you those little tiny scissors there, which I picked up at Dollar Tree. Those are really good for cutting around those tight corners, if you will, on the flower. I just use a little hot glue gun, or hot glue. Can't talk today. And I hot glue on the dowel. Glue, and you're going to put that on the center with the hot glue gun. Super cute. And again, to trim anything up, these little tiny scissors are really great. And here we have one of the smaller flowers. And a very pretty hot pink or fuchsia. Just match up the curves of the petals of the flower with the wood. Apply your paper to the center. This one happened to be a little heart pattern, so you want to be careful to keep that. If you use something with a pattern, how it looks on the flower, because hearts, you don't want the hearts to be going sideways on the flower. You want to have them going straight up and down. So pay attention to your patterns if you have a scrap of paper that has a pattern, something like that. And now we're putting on the back. Nice, even, not too heavy, not too light, all the way out to the edges, coat of Mod Podge. Stick your flower on. And because it's a heart, you want to turn it around, make sure you have the heart's going the right direction. If you're using a pattern, keep that in mind. And I got these little buttons, if you will. I thought they were buttons when I ordered them on Amazon, but they're fabric covered, something like a button, but they have no way to sew them onto anything. So I'm not really sure exactly what you call them, but they're little covered half rounds, I guess you could say, with fabric. And they were really super cute. They had little polka dots, and I thought they would be really cute for the center of the flowers, so I ordered those on Amazon. And I placed my dowel. And another one. Nice coat of Mod Podge, not too heavy. Little saran wrap to smooth it out. This scrap of paper just goes beautifully onto these wood cutouts, so you don't really have to encounter much in the way of bubbling of your papers. So this project is really smooth going, if you will, for that reason. And the back side, remember, always cut 2. And the last one, another one of those smaller flowers. This one's super cute with the polka dots for the center. All right, now we're going to start creating our bouquet. This, again, this picture I got at Home Goods, but again, you could pick this up anywhere at a thrift store. I picked up the styrofoam at Hobby Lobby. Oops, I'm sorry, Dollar Tree. I got it at Dollar Tree. Now, it's best if you glue that down inside of there. I thought that I did, but when I started creating this, I noticed it was moving around. But honestly, I have a great method of securing the flowers, which you're going to see in a little bit. So if you don't get it real tight in there, don't worry about it, because I have a method of securing the flowers with some paper shreds. You're going to see that coming up. I take the largest flowers and stick those in first. It's basically the same as when you do any floral arrangement. You use the largest first. Or even if you're creating a wreath with flowers, you use the largest first. Same thing with this wood flower bouquet. Now you can rearrange these at any point in time if you want to change them around. It's easy enough just to pull them right out of that styrofoam. Again, the largest first, so that would include these flowers with the green stem and the green leaves. I'm going to stick another one in there. Now we're going to start working on having these at varied heights. You don't want everything all the same height. So you want to try and vary the height of the flowers so that you can see all of them. That was my goal in this arrangement, to see all of the flowers. So I was careful when I was arranging them so that I could do that. Now some of these are going to be too tall, as you are going to see shortly. So I used miter shears to snip off the bottoms if I needed to. And there I go, right there, because I knew this one was going to be a little bit too long. Be careful not to cut off too much. Better to go back and snip a little more off than to cut it off too short. And here's the butterfly. I put it back there initially, and then I decided I wanted it right out front. And again, you want to try and see all of the flowers in the arrangement. So now I think I have all of the bigger elements in there. Now I'm going to start putting the smaller flowers in to fill in the empty spaces. You can see I cut them off there. Now I found that when I came to the end, all of my pieces, or my dowels with the flowers, with the ones that I had left over, were a little bit too short. So what I decided to do was take some of the pieces that I had snipped off and glue them back onto the dowel so that I could create height. And I just applauded myself there. I don't know if you saw that, but I gave myself a hand because that really worked. But you can, basically you're creating extenders by just taking the pieces that you snipped off and glue them onto the bottom of the dowel. That will create a method of creating height in your arrangement. And I pushed so hard on that flower, it fell right off. So I had to re-glue it. Better to hold it by the dowel rather than the top of the flower like I did. Do as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so now we have all of our cute little flowers in there. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So next what we're going to do is, I mentioned before about these shreds. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, but you can get these paper shreds anywhere. Walmart, probably I think Dollar Tree carries them. But what I did, this was such a great idea, if I do say so myself. I put paper shreds in here. And this really helped to secure the flowers, to hold them in place so they didn't move around. Plus, I thought the idea of using paper with the scrapbook paper was such a great idea. So I used the shreds and I put them in between all of the dowels, all of the flowers. It's very messy, but worth the effort. So now everything's nice and secure. And we're going to now add some greenery. Now I always pick up my greenery at Hobby Lobby. Love their flowers, love their greenery. I really don't buy my greenery anywhere else. Every other week it's on sale, 50% off. And I always pick some up every time I go because I love, love, love their greenery. On this particular arrangement, I use this very fine fern greenery. Before I start working on any project, I always go ahead and snip my pieces off with the wire cutter so that I can just grab it and do my decorating or designing. So I'm taking this greenery and I'm sticking it in between all of the flowers, in between the dowels. And this is going to add a lot of color and dimension and texture to the arrangement. I believe I used 2 bundles of this greenery for this arrangement. These come in small bundles, again at Hobby Lobby. And here we go. Here we have our greenery inside. And now everything is really secure because not only did the paper shreds hold everything secure, but now we also have the fern in there as well. And now I'm choosing my ribbons. Of course, everything has to have a bow. That's my motto anyway. So as I mentioned, the little girl that I'm making this for, she just loves purple. So I had to choose something purple to put around the picture. So you can see I'm trying a few out. I decided on this purple with little white flowers. I got these ribbons, I believe, at the dollar store. Dollar Tree, of course. And I decided that's what I'm going to use. You can see how it really helps to pick up the purple in the arrangement. I put just a little dab of glue there by the handle of the picture to secure the ribbon on there. And I'm going to wrap it around the picture. This is going to give a really nice touch to the arrangement. Just a little dab of glue is necessary and it will hold right on there. And I snip off the excess, and then I decided that wasn't enough. I had to add more. I always love to mix patterns and textures. You'll hear me talk about this so much in my videos. I just think that's what creates a beautiful piece. Lots of visual interest. So on this other ribbon that I chose to put over the top of the purple ribbon with the tiny white flowers is a polka dot, white polka dot on purple ribbon. So it looks super cute, and I'm mixing the pattern there so it looks really especially cute. Little dab of glue to hold it on there. And now because I put that white polka dot ribbon over the top, as you can see there, now I have to put one on the bottom as well. And again, the same thing, a little dab of glue, and wrap it around. I do put just a little tiny dab of glue right halfway around just to be sure it stays in alignment. And I wrap that around. And again, see the back of the arrangement, at least it has some color. Again, this definitely has a front, this arrangement, but it's good to not have the back looking unsightly. So putting the scrapbook paper on both sides of the flowers really is a good plan for this arrangement. All right, so now I decided, oh, that looks super cute. So now I decided I'm going to use this yellow ribbon. It has got these purple flowers on it, which I thought was so cute. This isn't a bow tutorial, but I'll just talk you through it as I do it. This is a modified version of the bows that I always make. I make all my bows pretty much the same. I did a tutorial, very slow and methodical. If you look for my video, how to make a bow, and I'll show you how I did this. This bow is going to be a little bit smaller than the one on my previous video. I have 2 loops on each side of the midline, and then 1 loop sitting right on top of those 2 bows, a little bit shorter, and a loop on that other side. I hold all of my bows together with a pipe cleaner. Again, watch the video, and this will make a lot more sense as you're watching me with this video, which I of course have sped up. So, and then the button in the middle, secured with a pipe cleaner. Couple of twists. Now I'm not going to be securing this onto the arrangement by the pipe cleaner, so I'm just going to cut the pipe cleaner off after I cut my tails, and I'm just going to glue that bow right to that purple ribbon that's wrapped around the picture. And pretty. I always angle my tails. I'm not really a dovetailer, if that makes any sense. Okay, it's a cute bow. And I decided I wasn't going to put it by the handle, but I was going to put it on the opposite side. I'm going to glue this right onto that purple ribbon. And here we have the finished product. You can see that I added that lavender, that little touch of purple, which looks, there you can see it. It looks really pretty. And one more flower right there in the center with the little swirly design on it. I picked that up, I believe, at Hobby Lobby. I found it and decided to add that in there. But look at this arrangement. It is so cute.